think it's day 68. You know, I don't think I'll ever learn my lesson. I don't think I'll ever actually learn what day it is. Regardless, it's Wednesday morning. I've got about maybe 10 minutes to do a bit of work on this before I get picked up. Luke's picking me up to go to work. So I figured I might as well do a bit of inking and talk to you guys while I'm doing it and give you my update on everything that's been going on. So yesterday was just sort of your regular work day, thankfully. Nothing too strenuous. Let me just bring the light down here a bit. If you guys can see that, better now. There we go. Got home and just my regular evening. Played with April and hung out with Jazz, had dinner, all that stuff. And then once April was in bed, I started working on page 6 of Monkey Junk. Now, which has already been inked, but I had to do all the grayscaling and the lettering to get it onto Patreon because yesterday was Tuesday. So the Easter long weekend sort of threw me in a bit of a loop because I kind of forgot that it was Tuesday and I forgot to do the grays. Usually I do them on the Monday. But anyway, I did that, which actually gave me another chance to test out my sort of new setup with the Cintiq. And it definitely made the process a lot faster, which was awesome. So while I'm there, I ended up just working on the next page, so page 7, I did the grayscaling for that. Then I did the lettering for page 6, uploaded that to Patreon, and went to do the lettering for page 7 and then realised there's actually no lettering to go on that page. So that page is now ready to go for next week, which is awesome. So now I'm a week ahead on the scheduling. I was also having a pretty good conversation with Lee, who's the writer, as you guys know. We were just talking about some stories and how we're going to be doing these chapters, and wanted to have a discussion with him anyway about this, but I think while we were chatting, we decided that we are going to be doing single issues now. Just small runs, just enough to get Monkey Junk out into the world, and for those who want to collect the physical copies before it's a trade, because that's still the full intention. So we're going to be, every time we finish a chapter, we'll be releasing that as a book. So when chapter 1 finishes, we're putting that all together, and then I'll be releasing that, and then I'll be hitting up a lot of the comic book shops and saying, hey, here's here's the first issue of Monkey Junk. Would you please consider, stocking it? And hopefully they will. I know quite a few comic book shops in the area, so hopefully that's to my advantage. Otherwise, it was just general chit chat about the storyline and everything, and how everything's going and what plans he has. I think it's good that I've been a bit concerned about the way that we're actually writing the comic, because we're sort of writing it as we're drawing it, which I suppose isn't ideal, but at the same time I'm kind of enjoying it, because we're both sort of having ideas and going, okay, well, this is sort of the path we're on now. This is what we were going to do, but I actually think this might work better. It's giving us a lot more freedom to play. It's almost like, in a sense, we've got a set path for the characters, but it's almost like we're improvising the comic as we're going along, which is kind of cool, because even I don't really know what's going to happen next, or what I'm going to be drawing next, until we get to that point. And yeah, it's kind of like a scary, fun ride. I know there's a lot of people out there who are probably saying oh, that's really bad, and it should be all set in stone and ready to go and structured and whatnot. And I know quite a few people who are very, very structured with that, but it's actually working really well for us, I think. Hopefully the story flows just the same, and we are still taking into consideration sort of continuity of things. Even just small situations where, if Abby puts her bag down, what happens with it? When does she pick it up? Whereas sometimes we'll just be like, oh, she's got her bag. I don't know. That's probably a really bad example, but it's just one thing that I was actually struggling with when doing these latest pages is almost forgetting about her bag and then having to go back and like, oh no, she's got a bag here. I need to remember to put the bag back in. But yeah, I don't know if you guys can see real. This is the page that I'm working on. This is a big giant splash page of Abby sort of doing a big superhero landing after she's cut the head off the monster. And they're just sort of showing off because she's a bit of a show pony, this chick. She's cool though. Tell you what, if there were action figures, I'd definitely be keen for an Abby action figure. That'd be sick. Yeah, so I did the lettering. One of the other things I've been doing as well is I watched the Scott McCloud videos the other day of how to letter comics, and it was actually really informative because it was more like, the tutorial was more how to create a lettering template to make lettering easier in the future. And he was showing some tips and tricks how he does his lettering in Illustrator. It actually showed that he does all of his layouts in Illustrator as well. So he'll do his rough layouts, scan those in. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. He'll pop them into Illustrator in his template file, and then what he'll do is he'll create all of his panel borders and everything within that, and then all of his lettering and everything which sits behind the panel borders, so nothing overlaps. It's really quite clever. So I started putting together a template for myself yesterday. I'm going to work through it, and it's probably a process I'm going to consider doing, because if I'm moving into digital pencils, it kind of makes sense that I could do all the lettering first before I ink it, and then I'll know that everything's in the right place, or I'll need to change some things, etc, etc. So yeah, pretty excited about that. And that's just a matter of time, and as I'm sort of creating pages, I'll be updating that template anyway. Which sort of gets me back to last night as I was sort of working on the pages and like looking at the template. I realised that obviously I need to have consistency with my lettering. So I went back on all the pages, except for page 1. I couldn't do it on page 1 because I'd actually drawn the word balloon on the page, because I'm an idiot. But everything else, I went back and redid all the lettering, which wasn't hard. Like I just had to change a few balloon sizes and then just copy the font from the font from my template, and then just use the eyedropper tool to copy that style. So it wasn't very time consuming, but now all the pages are consistent. So I'm feeling a bit more confident with my lettering. Thanks to Kevin Cross, he answered a few questions on his Patreon video about it, which was great. And then also just watching the Scott McCloud videos as well has been a huge help too. Yeah. What else? I'll probably have to wrap this up soon. Yeah. Things are just running along smoothly with Monkey Junk. I'm really happy with the way things are going, and kind of exciting to think, I'm at page, I think this is page 9. In another 2 months I might have an issue out, which is really cool. And the bonus, I think what I'll be doing as well by by printing the issues, anyone who backs up my Patreon at the $15 tier, the physical tier, will just get a free copy of it, because you've already paid to help me create this, so it stands to reason that you would get a copy of it. So I know there's one backer there who will be getting it, but if you guys want to, bear in mind though, like, you can't just sort of jump on when you find out and try and pull out. Like, I know there's people out there who will go, oh cool, we're going to get some free stuff, jump into Patreon, grab the free stuff and then bail. Patreon doesn't really work like that. Like, it's still going to take your money from the word go, so a bit safe there if people are trying to scam me. I know there's people out there who do that to other artists, so I'm glad that Patreon introduced that feature. It's super clever. So yeah, that could be a bit of fun. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of drawing a blank at the moment. Drawing being the appropriate word. I'm actually having a lot of fun here. This is a style that I learned from Jeff Stokoe. Well, this is a style. This is like a effect that I learned from Jeff Stokoe. So this is Abby landing on the ground, and I've just done the little clouds, but normally what I would do is just sort of like big flare lines to, like you can see in the background here, like the big flare lines where the crash is. But Jeff Stokoe's on his Wonton Soup, there's a scene where his ship lands on a dock, and the dust and everything does this big circular pattern. And it's just like little clouds in a circular pattern. It's like, that's super clever. And then I'll just add a little bit of dirt and little pebbles and stuff to sort of emphasize, that it is dust. But it's so much more effective than the way I would normally do it. So, and it's quite fun to draw. Like, I feel like it's really, especially around here when you actually get to sort of these edges, I feel like it's really pushing me to try and understand how that would work, because realistically this isn't how dust works, but I've got to make it look real. I've got to make it look like that's, that's a real thing. If that makes sense at all. Really struggling with my words at the moment. Yeah. I don't know, I might just finish this cloud dust and say goodbye anyway. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm glad I actually got to do a video like this where I'm just drawing. That was a bit of fun. I might try and do it a little bit more. I think today was just sort of one of those fluke days where I actually managed to get up early. Even did a bit of exercise this morning, and now I'm just waiting to go to work. Probably something I should probably try and do more of. I've actually been thinking about getting up like super early, like 4 o'clock in the morning, just to get more done. And I don't think that's a stupid idea at all. It probably means I'll be a little bit more tired. But if we go to bed at 11 o'clock at night, pretty much every night, that's still 5 hours sleep. I don't know, maybe that's not enough. Maybe if I get up at 4:30 or something. I don't know. I might have to think about that today, because it's definitely something I'm going to do. Tonight should also be interesting. I actually have Jazz and I looking at houses. I can't remember if I mentioned to you guys, but our landlords officially sold our house, which means we have to move. We have to be out of here on the 6th of June, which really sucks, because now we have to find a new house. We don't really have a whole lot of money to put into a new bond and things like that. So, we're just trying to figure out what we're going to do. So, I really got to get some art up onto the store and hopefully get a few bites. If you guys have ever wanted to purchase some comics or anything from me, now's probably a really good time to help me save up some money to go towards my rent and my bond money for the potential new house. Kind of a scary situation, but once we're in there, things will be alright. But at the moment, it's just like stress overload, and me, like I don't deal with that stress very well, so I'm kind of trying to not deal with it, which isn't good because I'm just putting things off, and but I just don't have the mental capacity to deal with it right now. I'd rather deal with fun things and exciting things. I don't want to deal with having to friggin' move house when we don't want to, when we don't have the money to, and it's just a bit of a nightmare situation at the moment. So I know people have it worse, but I'm a firm believer that, if you're having a bad time, never discount yourself, because you are important, and if you put yourself behind everyone else, then you are going to suffer greatly for it, because it can affect you in far more ways than you probably think. So, woe is me. Buy my stuff if you can. I'm going to try it. I might even be selling some of these original Monkey Junk pages on my online store too, so if that's something that interests you, if you're interested in buying some of the original pages, I'm probably thinking anywhere between $30 to $50 a page. Nothing drastic, plus postage of course, but at least it's something, money in my pocket. I'm also looking at doing an art book I'm going to start packing up now while I've finished talking. Yeah, I'm looking at doing an art book as well. I've got all the everything scanned. I've just got to put that together, and I'm going to be kickstarting that soon. And that's going to be hopefully another way that I can put some money together for rent and everything like that. So keep an eye out for that, and that's just going to be a big black and white book of all my ink work. So I'm really looking forward to it because I really enjoy doing inking. Hopefully this is a cool highlight of what I'm capable of doing. Alright, I'll leave you guys there. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching me draw some dust. I think it came together quite nicely. That looks really good. So hopefully the rest of the page comes together just as well. Please remember to like and comment and subscribe, all those things. And I should mention that my new store is officially online. I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll also put a link down to those lettering comics videos as well for you guys to check out. Alright, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a good one. Bye.